Welcome back to the deep dive. Have you ever paused to wonder what reality truly is? I mean, is your perception of the world an objective truth, or is it fundamentally shaped, by your own mind?
Hmm.
Today, we're embarking on a fascinating journey into ancient philosophical traditions that offer remarkably detailed and practical answers to those very questions.
That's right.
Our mission is to cut through the complexity and deliver those aha moments, guiding you through what it means to truly understand the nature of existence.
Indeed. We're going to explore what these traditions describe as attaining a correct viewpoint on reality. Sometimes you hear the phrase, "Jaksify Witten,"
Oh.
and crucially we'll then delve into how specific practices, known as penetrative vision or Vipassana, allow you to directly experience these profound insights. So moving beyond just like intellectual understanding,
Right.
we've got a rich collection of sources that lay out not just the what, but the precise how.
Exactly. This isn't just theory. It's a roadmap for direct experience. So buckle up, because we're about to unpack some seriously mind-bending ideas and then see how ancient masters develop practical techniques to actually realize them for themselves.
Let's get into it.
Okay, let's begin our exploration with the philosophical bedrock. We'll start with the Yogacara school, founded by figures like Asanga and Vasubandhu. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for anyone trying to understand their own mind. Yogacara places immense emphasis on the mental aspect of reality. It revolves around this concept of non-duality. What does that truly mean for our day-to-day experience?
Well, what's fascinating here is their core argument. They say that after deep analytical investigation, no object, whether it's the chair you're sitting on or, the thoughts in your head, can be found to possess real independent existence.
No independent existence. Why not?
Because, they argue, every single object, every phenomenon is ultimately a construction of the mind itself. It's like, think about a vivid dream. The dream characters, the landscapes, even your own dream self, they aren't separate, independently existing things, right? They are manifestations of your dreaming mind.
Ah, I see.
Yogacara suggests our waking consciousness operates in a similar way, constantly constructing our reality.
So it's not that things don't exist, but that they don't exist in the way we typically assume as these, solid, separate entities out there that really shifts the ground beneath our feet.
Precisely. It's a radical shift. And they extend this further, asserting that even consciousness itself is described as empty.
Consciousness is empty. What does that mean?
Well, again, it doesn't mean it's a void or that it doesn't exist. It means it lacks real, independent existence, and importantly, it's non-material. Just like the seemingly material world it constructs.
Yeah.
It challenges our fundamental assumptions, about what is truly real and substantial, pushing us to question the very nature of our awareness.
That's a lot to take in. Okay, so if reality and consciousness are both empty of independent existence, how does another major school, the Madhyamaka school, established by Nagarjuna and Aryadeva, how do they elaborate on this? I know they focus heavily on the doctrine of emptiness or Sunyata.
Right,
but-
Sunyata, or sometimes you see this too. Madhyamaka builds beautifully on this. When these traditions talk about emptiness, they don't mean nothingness in some kind of nihilistic way.
Okay, that's important.
It's the profound insight that phenomena lack inherent, fixed, independent existence. Think of it like a mirage in the desert. It appears real, looks solid from a distance, but when you investigate it closely, get right up to it, there's no independent, substantial reality there. It's empty of that self-existing quality.
So the appearance is there.
Yes, it's not that it doesn't appear, but that its appearance doesn't match its ultimate mode of existence. It's not inherently real in the way it appears.
That analogy helps immensely. So it's about seeing through this illusion of solidity and permanence. Now, I understand there are even different approaches within Madhyamaka, like Svatantrika and Prasenjika. Can you maybe clarify the key distinctions for us without getting too bogged down? What's the core difference in how they help us understand this emptiness?
Sure. Within Madhyamaka, we primarily see two significant approaches guiding practitioners. The Svatantrika Madhyamaka school, for example, suggests that through rigorous analysis, both the perceiver, the subject, and what is perceived, the object, are understood to lack inherent substantial reality.
Yeah.
They emphasize a kind of logical reasoning process, almost like a step-by-step argument, using specific analytical tools to demonstrate how phenomena are merely dependently originated. Their aim is to establish a clear, conceptual understanding of this lack of inherent existence.
Got it, a logical path. And the Prasenjika Madhyamaka school, I hear they're maybe even more direct.
Yes, that's a good way to put it. The Prasanjika Madhyamaka school takes a very direct, almost deconstructive approach. Their analytical investigation leads straight to the conclusion that the very idea of a fixed self, the perceived split between subject and object, and the underlying ignorance that causes these ideas, they're all fundamentally illusory.
Illusions.
Yeah.
Practitioners come to realize that all phenomena, including our sense of self, are inherently non-substantial. They lack any true independent existence. They don't really posit an alternative true nature concept. They just dismantle our mistaken notions directly using sort of consequential reasoning.
That sounds incredibly liberating, actually. Realizing these fundamental assumptions are illusions. I've heard that Prasanjika Madhyamaka goes so far as to say the correct viewpoint transcends even the conceptual notions of existence or non-existence itself. Was that phrase really hit it?
That's a subtle but crucial point. It means transcending the duality of is and is not. If everything is empty of inherent existence, then saying it exists in a conventional, solid way is, well, incorrect, ultimately.
Right.
But then to swing the other way and say it doesn't exist at all, that's also a conceptual extreme. That's falling into nihilism.
Okay.
So emptiness, non-emptiness, points to this ultimate understanding that moves beyond all conceptual extremes. Because these very ideas of existence or non-existence are themselves just mental constructs.
Well,
The goal for both Madhyamaka schools, despite their different analytical paths, is shared. Through meditative practice, you can realize wisdom awareness. An insight not bound by that artificial division of perception into a perceiving subject and a perceived object. It's a unified experience.
this progressive path you mentioned sounds quite strategic. It seems many Indian and Tibetan masters suggest a specific order for gaining these insights. Can you walk us through that progression? How does one typically approach this?
Absolutely. The recommended path often begins with first grasping the emptiness of external phenomena. So, recognizing that the world out there isn't as solid and independently real as it appears.
Start with the outside. Makes sense.
Then, as you deepen this insight, you come to realize that these external phenomena are actually conditioned by the mind itself. They arise in dependence on consciousness.
So the link between external and internal.
Exactly. And finally, the focus turns inward. The mind itself can then be analyzed. This leads to the profound conclusion that its true nature is also emptiness. It lacks real, independent existence and is therefore non-material.
So the analysis comes full circle.
Precisely. This provides a progressive, systematic path for the practitioner to uncover ever deeper layers of insight, step by step.
Okay. These philosophical insights paint such a radical picture of reality. But the big question then becomes, how do we move from understanding these profound concepts intellectually to actually experiencing them for ourselves? So what does this all mean for someone wanting to truly understand this firsthand? This, I guess, is where the practice of penetrative vision, or Vipassana, becomes our direct guide.
This is absolutely where theory meets practice. Penetrative vision, Vipassana, is the meditation practice that allows for this direct realization. Our sources describe various approaches, but they all converge on developing this profound insight.
Okay.
For instance, some describe ordinary penetrative vision. This involves using both gross and subtle phenomena like, say, the breath, bodily sensations, or thoughts as objects for meditation, observing them with intense clarity.
It's watching what's happening.
With focus. Then there's special penetrative vision, which involves a more analytical investigation of core truths, like the Four Noble Truths in Buddhism, leading specifically to the realization of the absence of an independently existing ego or self.
That makes sense. It's like systematically dismantling our assumptions through direct observation and analysis. I know there are also more advanced forms, like the penetrative vision of Mahamudra. But let's keep our focus on the common threads for now. So, what specific methods or stages do these traditions offer to cultivate this deep insight?
Right. Well, an important Mahayana text, the Sutra explaining the intent, or Afsamuryo, outlines a progression that's very helpful to understand.
Okay.
It starts with penetrative vision using concepts. Here, you conceptually analyze how individual phenomena exist. You're using the mind's discriminative ability.
Using thinking to understand thinking, almost.
Sort of, yes. Then you move to penetrative vision that opens a view on reality. This is where that conceptual understanding starts to give way to a deeper, more intuitive grasp. The concepts begin to loosen their grip. And finally, there's penetrative vision born of discriminating wisdom. This is the goal. a fully realized, non-conceptual insight into the true nature of reality. It's a clear journey from intellectual understanding to direct experience.
That's a clear progression, from concepts to a view to direct wisdom. And I understand that other texts, like the Compendium of Hidharma Bilyo, further detail this by describing 4 stages of realization through penetrative vision. Could you briefly outline those for us? How do they map onto this?
Yes, these 4 stages help clarify that journey further. First, there's analytical investigation using concepts to understand how individual phenomena exist, pretty much like that first stage we just discussed.
Right.
Second, you gain confidence from a partial, initial understanding of individual phenomena. This is where the insight starts to feel more real, less purely intellectual. You get glimpses.
Okay, it starts sinking in.
Exactly. Third, you achieve a complete conceptual understanding of phenomana's existence and nature, a solid intellectual grasp. The theory is fully integrated.
You've got the map down?
Right. And finally, number 4, through applying all these previous methods, you achieve direct, non-conceptual realization. You comprehend the true nature of phenomena directly. It's a progressive deepening, moving from the conceptual to the fully experiential.
It sounds incredibly systematic,
Yeah.
like building blocks.
Yeah.
The stages of the hearer's text even gives us 6 specific techniques for Vipassana meditation. What are these systematic approaches for investigating reality? They sound quite specific.
They are very specific, like a toolkit for analysis.
Yeah.
These 6 techniques involve, first, defining the modes of existence of phenomena, how things appear versus how they actually exist.
Okay.
Second, defining meaning, the true significance of what we perceive. Third, defining characteristics, the actual non-inherent qualities. Fourth, defining special aspects, delving into unique features that reveal non-substantiality. Fifth, defining time, understanding impermanence, how things arise and cease.
Right, seeing change.
And finally, sixth, defining cause, investigating the dependent origins of everything. Where does it come from? These techniques provide a really structured framework for a deep, systematic inquiry into the nature of your own experience.
That's a very practical framework for observation. It almost makes me think of a scientist meticulously examining a specimen, but applied inwardly.
That's a fair comparison in terms of the rigor.
But ultimately, this isn't just about intellectual analysis, right? The ornament to the sutras beautifully captures the essence of this transition, doesn't it?
It really does. That text distills the process perfectly. It says something like, we begin by applying concepts with the aim of developing understanding and discrimination.
Start with the thinking mind.
Yes. Then we allow the mind to abide in relaxation with the aim of grasping the single taste of all concepts, the taste of the absence of real existence.
Ah, the single taste. Absence of real existence.
Exactly. It illustrates that journey beautifully. From a conceptual, analytical understanding to a direct, non-conceptual realization where the mind just rests in the profound insight of emptiness. The analysis leads to relaxation in the truth.
And for perhaps the most detailed practical breakdown, I found Vasubandhu's commentary on Vipassana really fascinating. He details 11 sequential ways of analytical investigation. This seems like where the rubber really meets the road for a practitioner, a whole journey in itself. Can you explain how these stages guide someone?
Oh, absolutely. Vasubandhu's 11 ways provide a remarkably comprehensive progression for cultivating penetrative vision. They can be grouped. The first 3 stages focus on gaining a correct viewpoint.
Getting the foundation right.
Exactly. Using investigation and reflection, then using reflection without investigation, and then moving beyond both. It's about establishing that foundational understanding of reality we discussed earlier.
Makes sense.
Then, the next 4 stages are about improving your meditation skills. This includes just abiding in calm, shamatha, just focusing on penetrative vision, vipassana, skillfully using both calm and vision together, and investigating the characteristics of your own reflection or mental objects. This phase really hones the meditative ability to sustain the insight.
So it's like learning to see clearly first, then learning to hold that clear vision steadily without wavering. What about the final stages?
Right. The last 4 stages are designed to gain confidence in your viewpoint, to make it unshakable. This involves investigating the nature of abiding in calm itself, investigating the characteristics of equilibrium, the mind's balance, investigating your own mind stream very directly to see its nature, and finally investigating with reverence a deep appreciation and conviction in the insight gained.
Wow, that's thorough.
It is. This entire sequence is designed to move the practitioner systematically from that initial conceptual understanding to an unshakable, direct, and ultimately non-conceptual realization.
This raises such an important question, though. Why use concepts, logical arguments, all this analytical investigation so extensively if the ultimate goal is to transcend concepts altogether and achieve non-conceptual wisdom? It almost feels, counterintuitive.
It does seem that way at first, doesn't it? It's a crucial point, and the analogy given in the sutras and meditation instructions is incredibly powerful, I think.
Okay.
Think of it like rubbing two wooden sticks together.
Right, to make fire.
Exactly. The friction creates heat, and eventually fire arises. But what happens then? That very fire consumes the sticks themselves.
Ah, the sticks are gone.
Precisely. Similarly, the proper application of analytical investigation uses concepts, the sticks, to understand reality. This process generates the fire of insight, of wisdom. This insight, this penetrative vision, then allows the concepts themselves to burn up or fall away. They've served their purpose.
That's a fantastic analogy.
This is why it's so crucial to attain the correct viewpoint through Vipassana, through an analysis. The insight you gain will ultimately transcend the very concepts that helped you arrive there, leading to a direct, unmediated experience of reality. The tools help you get there, then you can let them go.
What an incredible deep dive. We've covered so much ground, from these profound philosophical views to the precise, step-by-step methods for truly understanding the nature of reality in your own mind. From Yogacara Madhyamaka's insights into emptiness and non-duality to the detailed practices of penetrative vision, these traditions really offer not just theories, but a comprehensive roadmap to deep wisdom.
They really do. The depth and specificity of these ancient paths are truly remarkable. They offer not just intellectual frameworks, but a very practical, verifiable way to realize the non-substantial nature of phenomena and the mind. And it's a testament, really, to the enduring human quest for profound understanding. A quest that remains just as relevant today, I think, as it was millennia ago.
Absolutely. Yeah. So as you go about your day, maybe after listening to this, what stands out to you from this deep dive? How might your understanding of reality subtly shift? Just knowing these intricate methods and profound insights exist.
Yeah, what lingers?
What will you consider next about the nature of your own mind and the world around you, knowing that what we perceive might be far more fluid, more interdependent, maybe less solid than we typically imagine? Keep pondering, keep exploring, and we'll be back soon for another deep dive.